Welcome to Heavy Talk. I'm your girl Heavie. I am back with another episode of Heavy Talk, here to serve you up some more straight talk and no chaser. Happy Friday, whenever you're listening to this. I am super excited about this episode and just this week in general because my birthday is on July 2nd. So this coming Sunday, it is my birthday. So I'm going to try to keep this episode as fun and as I can. So before we get into everything that's been going on, let me give you your word of the day because you know I love the inspiration. So our word of the episode is time. As the famous saying goes, time is money. Money. Time is the one thing we can never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. We only get 24 hours a day. What are you devoting your time to? Are you being the most effective with your time? Now, originally, when I came up with this word of the day, there was a whole different spin that I wanted to do with this word. But then something happened to me recently, and I was like, okay, maybe this is probably what I need to talk about. So the other day, I was just moving so fast that I left my phone in the gas station. Now, I was like, okay, that clearly means that your mind is in too many different places if you just leaving your phone in the gas station, because I'm not gonna lie, I usually have my phone glued to my hip. So what are the chances that I just forget my phone? I didn't realize that I was in the car down the street. I said, wait, trying to play my music. And I said, I can't find my phone. I had to turn around, go back. And sure enough, the gas station attendant had my phone. He gave my phone back. So all of that to say, take some time to just get your mind together. If you somebody that has a lot of things that are going on in your life, you have a lot of personal or even like professional obligations. If you have a lot of personal or professional obligations, take some time to get your mind together, because if you always running, you maybe rarely give yourself time to just be and let your mind just be, not think about anything. That means not planning what you're going to do on Monday. That means literally letting your mind just do nothing. Just sit there on your couch, on your bed, wherever you feel comfortable at your comfort spot, and just woosah, maybe meditate. I don't know, do whatever makes your mind just be and just be still. So that's my inspiration. That's my word of the day. Please just give yourself time to just be. Just let your mind, body, and spirit just be. There's so much that is going on. You owe it to yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit to just regroup, relax, and refresh. So if you have time this upcoming weekend or sometime during the week, carve out a little dedicated amount of time, even if it's just 5 minutes, to just chillax and then jump right back into it and get right back to the bag. That's my word of the day. Hope that it was helpful. Okay, let's get into everything that's been going on this week. The first thing, though, that I want to start with is something that I've had added to my topic list, but so many other things were going on in the news. And when I talked about this, I wanted to make sure that I talked about it fully, and I did my full research before I dove into it. So I decided this episode is time for the deep dive. So let's talk about UNC-Chapel Hill and the Ida B. Wells Society for Investigative Reporting. We might have a problem today saying society. I don't know why, but I just feel it coming. So you may know about the Ida B. Wells Society from Nikole Hannah-Jones. She is one of the co-founders. You may know Nikole Hannah-Jones from the 1619 Project. Go do your research and learn about that if you don't know about the 1619 Project already. So this whole story, the story goes like this. A couple, 6 months ago, to be exact, not a couple, 6 months ago, the Ida B. Wells Society told UNC-Chapel Hill that they were going to be moving to Morehouse College. You know, I love my HBCUs. HBCU heavy on the pride. So when they decided that they were going to be making the move, and we are going to get into maybe a possible reason why the society moved in the first place. So when they decided to make the move, $3.8 million needed to be transferred over from UNC-Chapel Hill to Morehouse College. The whole reason why we even know about this, about the transfer of the money and all that is because it didn't go right. If we know, we the public, if the media knows, maybe something did not go the way it was supposed to go. And the article kind of alluded to that. The quote from the article said, this article is NC Newsline. When society leaders told the university officials that they intended to go public if this wasn't resolved, transfers began immediately. I'm gonna read again. When society leaders told the university officials that they intended to go public if this wasn't resolved, transfers began immediately. 6 months ago, the Ida Well Society told UNC-Chapel Hill, we are moving to Morehouse. With a move, we need our money from funders, and from donations. We need that to be transferred over to Morehouse so that we can continue programming. Programs like a summer internship program. With this summer internship program, students can have internships at publications like the Washington Post, the New York Times, among others. Because this money was not transferred over, all the money was not transferred over to Morehouse in a timely fashion, the summer internship program was canceled. That's why this is important. The whole program, which is very successful, has been successful for years, was canceled because the society did not have their $3.8 million in total. So not only was the summer internship program canceled, not only do we not have our $3.8 million, UNC-Chapel Hill is not responding to emails or any communications according to the emails. The people at the Ida B. Wells, foundation have emailed them like, what's going on? Why don't we have the money? Why hasn't everything been sent over? Like, what's going on? The people at UNC-Chapel Hill have either not responded or not responded in a timely fashion. And reading the article, a key email stood out to me because in the article, they had the tea. They had some firsthand emails back and forth for what was going on. One of the emails, so this email was sent from one of the Ida B. Wells Society co-founders to someone that works at UNC-Chapel Hill. This is what the email said to someone at UNC-Chapel Hill. Right now, we are walled off from our funds for an unknown reason. The email went on to say, our organization cannot do any of its vital and important work because UNC is holding the society's money. Also went on to say, the ignoring of our communications over such a critical matter is incredibly unprofessional. That email was sent from a society co-founder to the dean of the journalism school at UNC-Chapel Hill. He told them this is incredibly unprofessional over such an incredibly important matter. Our summer internship program has had to be canceled because we don't have the money to make sure that it goes on. Why aren't y'all responding to emails, if at all, and at a timely fashion? Like, what's going on? Like, what is the holdup? I told y'all the part where okay, so let me go back a little bit. After that email was sent to the dean of the journalism school, a meeting was scheduled. During that meeting, you can assume that's when the co-founder said, okay, look, if we don't get this money, we're going to have to go public. This is not the way that we want to do it. We don't want to go public. Just stuff never really goes right when you take it to the media. Let's just keep this behind closed doors. Let's work this out. But if we don't, we're going to go public. When they told them this, they said the transfers began immediately. So if y'all could somehow get the transfers rolling as soon as we tell y'all that we're going to go public, why couldn't y'all get the transfers going before, when we were just simply being patient? why is it taking 6 months? And I read in the article, the Ida B. Wells, they have moved multiple times from different colleges and institutions. This is not the first time that they have moved. So when this has happened before, the money has been transferred over. I read in the article in about maybe a month or two, 30 to 60 days. It's been 6 months and they don't have $3.8 million. We're not dealing in thousands, we're dealing in millions. We are canceling programs because we don't have our money. Now, from all of that, I was like, now what is the real reason why these people, UNC-Chapel Hill, these people is playing about this money? Like, what's the real tea? Now, do you guys know about what happened with Nikole Hannah-Jones and UNC-Chapel Hill when she was trying to seek tenure there? So that's a whole story in itself. Go do your research and learn about that. Something though that I do want to talk about and alluding to that was spoke about in this same article. Now, when Nikole Hannah-Jones was trying to get tenure at UNC-Chapel Hill, there was a lot of pushback from the people at UNC-Chapel Hill. It's kind of like, where is this coming from? Why don't y'all want me to have tenure here? Some are saying that a conservative mega donor was the main one behind saying we don't want her to have tenure at this school. They say he have a lot of pushback to Nikole Hannah-Jones' 1619 project, specifically a part in there talking about Black people getting reparations for slavery. We need reparations. Like, what is the problem? But he had a problem with that, leading to him not wanting to give her tenure. So this was all in the media. It was a big media story about this. After a while, after it blew up, UNC-Chapel Hill, they was catching a lot from people. People was not feeling that. It was not looking good in the media. So they extended her tenure. She decided, no, I don't want it. She instead decided to go to another HBCU, Howard University. Though in a legal settlement, something stood out to me. What stood out to me is apparently, I have to say apparently, the school, UNC-Chapel Hill, wanted a lifetime ban on her teaching or at otherwise being employed by the university. This is what she said. They didn't want her to at all be employed by the university at all in lifetime in any capacity. Y'all have that much disdain for this lady where y'all saying we want a lifetime ban on her for employment reasons. Now, what I read said, they said this doesn't mean that she can't, come to a game, that she can't support. We're not saying that. We saying she just can't work here in any capacity. I think that says a lot. She didn't agree to that. What she did agree to is that she would not that she would not apply for employment at UNC-Chapel Hill through January 1st, 2028. With all that being said, in the article, she was quoted saying, as a co-founder of the society, if I was not welcome at the university, how can we keep the society at the university? I completely agree with that. It all makes sense to me. Once I read the full article and got the full story, just having my already knowledge about the 1619 project and Nikole Hannah-Jones, then learning about the Ida B. Wells and all of that and what's going on with UNC-Chapel Hill and Morehouse. Okay. And I say, okay, well, I can understand it's a lot that's going on with the world. Maybe they just don't have, personnel to just get the paperwork moving, to get the transfers over, because I'm sure that it's a lengthy process. I said, well, maybe that's what it is. But then I said, they not responding to any emails. That's just rude and unprofessional, especially when you're dealing with $3.8 million. And I'm sure that they were saying we're gonna have to cancel our, summer internship program if we don't get this money, and y'all still not trying to do it hastily. Then when I read the whole part about the tenure, and then Nikole Hannah-Jones thoughts like, well, if, I'm not welcome here, then why keep the whole, society here? Everything made sense to me. UNC-Chapel Hill, y'all wrong, y'all know, y'all ought to be shamed. Morehouse, I'm so glad that y'all now have the IDB Well Society for Investigative Reporting. Kudos to y'all. Now, in talking about HBCUs, I want to talk about some HBCU greatness. Since I mentioned Morehouse, let's talk a little bit about Morehouse. I want to give a couple HBCU stats, or facts rather. Morehouse recently became the first HBCU to offer courses in the metaverse. So much is going on with the metaverse. Sure enough, about time that someone figures out how to offer classes in the metaverse. So kudos, shout out to Morehouse. Honestly, though, I think that I said this wrong. I don't think that they're the first HBCU. I believe, though, that they're the first college, not just the HBCU. Clicked on the article. They're not just, let me make sure that I put the accurate credit where it's due. They not just the first HBCU to do it. They're the first college, period, to offer classes in the metaverse. So again, shout out to Morehouse College. More HBCU greatness. Tennessee State University always showing out. Their band is always going crazy. Shout out to their band. I love HBCU bands, Aggie pride. Love my HBCUs. Tennessee State University just became the first HBCU to launch a collegiate ice hockey team. I know that's right. Expand. We into everything. Ice hockey, gymnastics, we everywhere with it. The ice hockey team will hit the ice in 2024. Now I said we into everything ice hockey, gymnastics because I was preluding to something else. Fisk University in 2022 became the first HBCU to launch a women's intercollegiate gymnastics team. HBCUs out here are doing big things. So since I was talking about UNC-Chapel Hill and Morehouse was in the story, I had to just give HBCUs some love and talk about just some good things that are associated with HBCUs. Now, when talking about that, let's talk about the NBA draft. Congratulations to all the players that were drafted during the 2023 NBA draft. I love the draft. I just think it's a good feeling just watching players of any sport who their dream their whole life is to play at this level, and then finally it happens. They be all teared up with their family and their coaches and their supporters. It's always a great feeling. I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch it at all, but I knew that it went on. And I wanted to talk about a little bit of sports on this episode. So I said, let's research the draft and let me see if any HBCU athletes were drafted in the NBA draft this year. Now, unless I missed it. Now, maybe I missed it. I'm not going to say for a definite fact, because I'd be wrong sometimes. And I have to come back and be like, wait, y'all, talked about this last episode. And I want to correct myself. Could be wrong, so y'all correct me if y'all know. But I'm pretty sure that no HBCU athletes were drafted in the NBA draft. Now, when the NFL draft happened, I talked about how there was only one HBCU athlete that was drafted during this year's NFL draft. I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to get into the NFL too, so just wait. So this year, I don't think there was any HBCU athlete that was drafted in the NBA draft. Now, when I was doing my research about that, I found out, now here to me are some cool NBA HBCU stats. A total of 351 HBCU basketball players have been drafted in NBA history. I was like, only 351? Wow. The first ever selection, so the first ever HBCU athlete that was drafted into the NBA came from West Virginia State, and that was Earl Lloyd. He was drafted in 1950. At that time, he also became the first African American to play in an NBA game. So not only was Earl Lloyd the first HBCU athlete to be drafted into the NBA, after he was drafted in October of 1950, he went on to become the first African American to play in an NBA game. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, then I was like, now let's get into, I like ranks. Let's rank it by HBCU. How many HBCUs have drafted players? I gave you the top 3. So at the top, Tennessee State and Jackson State are tied for the most draft picks at 23. After that, we have Grambling at 22. We need to do better. We need to do better. Why weren't there any NBA? Why weren't there any HBCU athletes that were drafted into the NBA? Now, don't give me qualified. It wasn't enough, good enough players. No, because that's like what Deion Sanders said. Now I know good and well that it was more than one athlete that was deserving from an HBCU to be drafted into the NFL. That's what Deion Sanders said when it was related to the NFL drafts. I'm going to use his same point. I know that there was at least one athlete from an HBCU that could have been drafted into the NBA. Come on now, let's get it together. And talking about the NFL, for my Black History facts this week, I learned something about the NFL that I just never knew. Never knew this. Did you guys know that there was a 12-year period where there was a ban on African American athletes? I never knew this. I learned it from my Black History facts. So Kenny Washington, he was one of the 2 players that integrated the NFL because they didn't have any Black players since 1933. The part that got me is, if you know about anything with the NFL and some of the teams that are around today, and maybe some of the not good things are being associated with these teams, like the Commanders, maybe. The Washington Redskins owner was one of the people that steered in the policy of the 12-year ban on African Americans. Redskins owners George Preston Marshall, he was the main guy, the main person that orchestrated the ban that would go on to be 12 years where there was no Black players in the NFL. Now, do y'all know anything about what's going on with that team today? They don't got positive stuff that's going on today. So y'all telling me it's kind of been like this? After 12 years, in 1946, the NFL ban on African Americans was finally lifted. Can you guess why it was lifted? This is what the quote said. Article said, finally, in 1946, the NFL lifted its race ban when the Los Angeles Rams, facing a threat of losing its lease, they decided, I said it wrong. You didn't decide. They were going to be forced out of their lease if they didn't sign African American. So they signed, one of the people that they signed was Kenny Washington and another Black player. That's when the 12-year NFL ban on Black players ended. I never knew about this. I just never knew. This is what needs to be in our history books. This was something that I would have loved to know about. As a sports lover, as a Black history lover, I love to see intersection. This was a great intersection for me. I just love learning about history. Now let's get into all the things that have me like WTF, because it's been a lot. The streets have definitely been raging. And y'all probably thought I was going to go this full episode and not talk about the BET Awards. Absolutely not. First thing that had me like WTF Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle. Now, come on now. Come on. Come on now. Now, I love Essence because I seen a post. I was scrolling on the timeline, and Essence made a post that was just praising Patti LaBelle after her Tina Turner tribute. People was in the comments was like, this is why I love Essence, because y'all always find a way to just praise a Black person, a Black queen, even when it's a lot of backlash, a lot of controversy. Y'all not gonna do that. Y'all gonna do a appreciation post to Patti LaBelle. So shout out to Essence for doing that, but let's just keep it a buck. Patti LaBelle was wrong. Let me go back. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Because you could be like, what are you even talking about? Tina Turner passed away not that long ago. At the BET Awards that took place, depending on when you're hearing this, could be last weekend, Patti LaBelle did a tribute, or was trying to do a tribute to Tina Turner. It did not really go so well. She didn't know the words. This is what she said. She couldn't read the teleprompter. So during the performance, she told the crowd, she told us that, y'all, I can't really read the teleprompter, but I'm going to do my best. I thought in all my days that the show go on. So sometimes you just gotta keep pushing forward. No, Patti LaBelle said, I'm gonna let y'all know I'm not doing this right. I cannot see. That's not right. That's not right. That was not right at all. And if I'm Tina Turner in heaven, I'm like, you got me messed up. They said Tina Turner was rolling in her grave at that performance. And the streets are saying that it could be some backstory to that. Maybe they weren't the best of friends. Maybe they didn't get along. I don't know. In keeping with the BET Awards, Chief Keef performance at the BET Award, BET on television. You kidding? That is simply iconic. As someone that's from Illinois, from Chicago, a Chief Keef at the BET Awards, man, love to see it. I didn't watch the whole show, but when I looked at the timeline, because we all watch it together, when I looked at the timeline and they said Chief Keef, I instantly cut the channel on. Not Chief Keef, and there was a video of when Chief Keef and his people got out their Sprinter. It was a little foggy, like they was on Pluto. Y'all was on Pluto going to the BET Awards. I'm also not gonna talk about how when we go to these other awards, we be out here decked out in our Easter Sunday best. When we go to the BET Awards, we not giving our Easter Sunday best. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that I really appreciate it either. Something else that had me like, because it's ongoing, has me like WTF. Air quality in the Midwest. What is going on? These Canada wildfires, they aren't only affecting the DMV in the New York area. They had them with an orange haze. It's also affecting the Midwest. In the Chicago and Midwest regions, the air quality is not good at all. Like, I'm starting to think it's something going on with the environment. Seriously, there's been a lot of strange things that's been going on with the environment. I don't know about this. I'm about to start raising some questions, okay? Because this is getting a bit strange. I seen a story a couple weeks ago, forgot to cover it. There was a whole bunch of bees that was just in I think it was New York City, I think. The climate, or not the climate control people, the pest control people had to come and get the bees. It was like millions of bees that was just flying all in the air. Something going on with the environment. Orange haze, the bees, orcas are sinking boats. Go watch past episodes. I talked about that in some countries, orcas are sinking the boats. Orange haze, orcas sinking boats. We got volcanoes that's erupting more than they usually had. I don't know about this. This is why these people keep trying to go to keep trying to go to space because they know something that we don't know. Well, tell me. I keep a secret. Tell me what's going on. Last thing that had me like WTF. This may be the wildest thing that I've heard in a very long time. Headline of the article read, a Kentucky woman visiting Texas is accused of shooting and killing her Uber driver after she wrongfully believed he was kidnapping her and driving her to Mexico. Now, I understand sometimes in them type of situations, you gotta act fast. Like, you just gotta make a fast decision. But also, with a fast decision like that, lady, you need to be absolutely sure that you are for sure being kidnapped before you pull out your Glock and you just kill somebody. Like, lady, now you're gonna have to go to jail. Now you're gonna have to go to jail because that's just not okay. That's not okay at all whatsoever. Somebody then lost their life because you thought that you were being kidnapped. Okay, next time. Again, I said sometimes you have to think fast, but if your choice after that is going to be to shoot somebody, you may have to ask some more questions or do some better analysis when it's dealing with life or death choices, okay? That wraps up all the things that had me like WTF, and that wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed recording it. My shirt kept moving around, but I want to take the time to shout out my More Than 3/5 shirt. This is an ERP shirt. I have talked to ERP. Actually, the Black Blog has done interviews with ERP. So if you would like to learn more about ERP, the mission, or get you a t-shirt, please go to the Black.blog, go to our interviews page and check out that interview. Make sure that you guys be safe this weekend. Go back to my word of the day. Go listen to it again, please. Take some time to take care of you. Refresh, regroup, call your favorite person. Call someone that you haven't talked to in a long time. It's a lot that's going on in this world. They might just need a friend, someone to talk to, someone to just say, are you doing okay? Sometimes a simple, is you good, goes a long way. So ask somebody, is you good? This was Heavy Talk, Straight Talk with No Chaser. I will catch you here next week. Same place, same time. I'm out.